From time immemorial, tales of giants have captivated the human imagination. These colossal beings, towering over mortal men, have been the subject of myths and legends across cultures. But what if these stories weren't just the stuff of folklore? What if giants truly walked the earth in ages past? In the annals of history, few texts delve into the mystery of giants as profoundly as the Bible. This ancient text speaks of a time when giants roamed the earth, creatures of immense size and power who posed a direct challenge to humanity and even to God himself. The Bible isn't just a collection of moral teachings and spiritual guidance, it's a chronicle of human history, interwoven with the divine. And within its pages lies a forgotten war, a conflict between God and the giants, a war with profound implications for understanding our place in the cosmos. This is a story of faith tested, of courage against overwhelming odds, and of divine intervention in the face of seemingly insurmountable evil. This is the story of God against the giants. The Bible, particularly the Old Testament, offers glimpses into the existence of giants. These mentions shape history and influence humanity's relationship with the divine. References to giants appear in Genesis, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, and Psalms. Genesis chapter 6 verse 4 speaks of the Nephilim, sparking endless debate. The sons of God took wives from the daughters of men, producing the Nephilim. Were these sons of God angelic beings or something else entirely? The Nephilim were mighty men, instilling fear with their extraordinary abilities. The identity of the sons of God in Genesis chapter 6, verse 4 remains hotly debated. Some interpret this phrase as referring to fallen angels who descended to earth, resulting in the monstrous Nephilim. Others argue they were men from a lineage favored by God, whose intermarriage led to powerful individuals. The Nephilim represented a profound transgression of divine and human boundaries. Their presence ushered in unparalleled wickedness, prompting God to cleanse the world. Genesis chapter 6 verse 4 stands as one of the most intriguing and debated passages in the entire Bible. It's a verse shrouded in mystery, its cryptic language sparking endless speculation. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of men. They were the heroes of old, men of renown. Each phrase hints at a story far grander and more unsettling than it appears. The central enigma lies in the identity of the sons of God and the daughters of men. Were these sons of God angelic beings, celestial rebels, or does the phrase refer to a lineage of humans set apart by their piety? The text offers no easy answers, leaving us to grapple with its implications. The ambiguity has fueled centuries of debate among theologians and scholars. Some interpret it literally, pointing to angels interbreeding with humans. Others suggest it represents the dangers of spiritual adultery. Whatever the interpretation, the union represents a profound disruption of the natural order. It's a story that speaks to the human fascination with the forbidden and the potential for chaos. The phrase sons of God, Nephilim in Hebrew, appears in other biblical passages, but its meaning isn't always consistent. In some contexts, it clearly refers to angelic beings, members of the divine council that surrounds God's throne. This ambiguity makes interpreting Genesis chapter 6, verse 4, particularly challenging. Those who favor the angelic interpretation point to the seemingly supernatural nature of the Nephilim. The sons of God saw the daughters of men and found them beautiful, suggesting a deliberate choice to engage with humanity. The debate over the identity of the sons of God reflects broader theological questions about the nature of angels and the divine-human relationship. While much of the debate surrounding Genesis chapter 6, verse 4 focuses on the identity of the sons of God, the role of the daughters of men is equally intriguing. Were they willing participants or unwitting pawns in a cosmic drama? The text offers few clues, leaving us to ponder their part in this enigmatic narrative. Women played a crucial part in shaping the course of history. The story of the sons of God and the daughters of men doesn't end with Genesis chapter 6, verse 4. Its echoes reverberate throughout the Bible, shaping subsequent narratives and influencing the relationship between humanity and the divine. The Nephilim, offspring of this forbidden union, symbolize the dangers of straying from God's path. The Bible describes the Nephilim as mighty men and men of renown, but their strength and prowess are presented as a source of fear and corruption. The story serves as a prelude to the Great Flood, a reminder of the consequences of straying from the divine path. The Nephilim, along with humanity, are swept away by the flood waters, a testament to the destructive power of unchecked sin and God's ultimate authority over creation. The arrival of the Nephilim upon the world stage wasn't a peaceful one. Their presence, born from a forbidden union, seemed to poison the very air. The earth, once a garden of harmony, began to groan under the weight of their wickedness. The book of Genesis describes a time when the earth was filled with violence and all flesh had corrupted its way upon the earth. Humanity, created in God's image, had strayed far from its intended path, enticed by the allure of power and self-gratification. The Nephilim, with their immense size and strength, became symbols of this pervasive corruption. They embodied the consequences of unchecked ambition and the seductive nature of forbidden knowledge. Their presence served as a constant reminder of humanity's fall from grace, a stark contrast to the original purity of creation. The very fabric of creation seemed to unravel as a result of their influence. The lines between the divine and the human, once clearly delineated, became blurred. The natural order, carefully crafted by God, was thrown into disarray. The world, once filled with the music of creation, now echoed with the discord of sin. The stench of wickedness rose to the heavens, a stench so potent that it reached the nostrils of God. And as he looked down upon his creation, his heart filled with grief and righteous anger. He had created humanity out of love, had breathed life into them, and given them dominion over the earth. But they had squandered his gift, choosing to follow the path of darkness rather than the light of his guidance. The Lord saw that the time had come for a drastic intervention. The corruption had spread too far. He would cleanse the earth, washing away the wickedness. And so he unleashed a flood to purify his creation. But amidst the judgment, hope remained. Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. He was commanded to build an ark to preserve life. The ark stood as a beacon of hope amidst chaos. Noah gathered his family and pairs of every living creature. As the rains began to fall, the earth wept. The waters rose, consuming everything in their path. For 40 days and 40 nights, the rain poured from the heavens, transforming the earth into a swirling vortex of destruction. But the flood wasn't just an act of destruction, it was also an act of renewal. He wiped the canvas clean, preparing it for a new masterpiece. Even in the face of overwhelming wickedness, God's mercy and love endured, offering a chance for a new beginning. With the earth cleansed, God established a new covenant with Noah, symbolized by the rainbow. The flood served as a reset button, a chance for humanity to start anew. The story of the Great Flood stands as a testament to God's justice and mercy. After the flood, the world was a very different place. Humanity began to spread across the earth, repopulating the land. The memory of the giants lingered in the collective memory of humankind. Centuries later, the descendants of Abraham, led by Moses, embarked on a perilous journey. This land, however, was not uninhabited. It was home to various tribes, some friendly, some hostile, and among them a remnant of the giants of old. These giants served as a stark reminder that the struggles of the past were not entirely forgotten. The Israelites, having witnessed the awesome power of God during their exodus from Egypt, were not easily deterred. They had seen the Red Sea part, had been sustained by manna from heaven, and had received the law from God himself on Mount Sinai. They knew that with God on their side, no obstacle was insurmountable. However, the sight of these towering figures, descendants of the Nephilim, struck fear into the hearts of many. These were not mere men, they were giants, their very presence a testament to the power of chaos and the enduring legacy of a time when the world was overrun by wickedness. The Promised Land, for all its beauty and bounty, held within it the seeds of ancient terror, a challenge that would test the faith and courage of God's chosen people. Before entering the Promised Land, Moses sent 12 spies to scout the land and report back on its inhabitants. Among these spies were Joshua and Caleb, known for their courage and faithfulness. They encountered fertile valleys, vineyards, and fig trees. But they also encountered giants casting a shadow over the land. The spies returned trembling, describing the giants as men of great stature. Amidst the fear and despair that gripped the Israelite camp, two voices rose in defiance: Joshua and Caleb. Caleb, his voice booming over the crowd, silenced their complaints with a boldness born of unwavering faith. "The land we passed through and explored is exceedingly good," Caleb declared. "If the Lord is pleased with us, he will lead us into that land, a land flowing with milk and honey. And do not be afraid of the people of the land, for they are bread for us. Do not be afraid of them." Joshua stood beside Caleb, a man of quiet strength and unwavering loyalty. He too had witnessed the wonders of God and the terror of the giants. He echoed Caleb's words, urging the people to trust in God's promises and to not be afraid. "If the Lord delights in us, he will bring us into this land and give it to us. And do not be afraid of the people of the land, for they are bread for us." Despite the Israelites' initial fear and reluctance, the time came when they could no longer avoid confronting the giants. Under the leadership of Joshua, the new generation that had not known slavery in Egypt, they crossed the Jordan River and began the conquest of the Promised Land. They faced many enemies in their campaign, but the battles against the giants held a particular significance. These encounters were not merely territorial disputes, they were clashes between two worldviews, a testament to the enduring conflict between God and the forces of chaos represented by the giants. Among the giants they faced were the Rephaim, another tribe descended from the Nephilim, who inhabited the land east of the Jordan River. The Rephaim, known for their immense size and strength, were a formidable foe, but they were no match for the Israelites, empowered by God's promise and led by Joshua's strategic brilliance. The Israelites, fueled by their faith and yearning for the fulfillment of God's promises, fought with a ferocity born of generations of longing. They toppled the giants' strongholds, shattered their armies, and claimed the land as their inheritance, proving that even the most formidable giants were powerless against the might of the Almighty. The story of David and Goliath is one of the most enduring tales of courage and faith. It's a story that has captivated generations. This epic confrontation wasn't just a personal duel, it was a pivotal moment in the ongoing war between God and the giants. Long after Joshua and the Israelites had conquered the Promised Land, pockets of giant resistance remained. Among these was Goliath, a Philistine champion of immense stature and terrifying strength. David, a young shepherd, seemed an unlikely hero to confront this monstrous adversary. He was the youngest of 8 sons, known for his quick wit and devotion to God. Yet within this seemingly ordinary shepherd boy beat the heart of a lion. Goliath was a fearsome sight. Over 9 feet tall, clad in bronze armor, his spear like a weaver's beam, his shield carried before him. He was the embodiment of brute strength, Goliath bellowed, his voice echoing across the valley. "Choose a man and have him come down to me. If he kills me, we will serve you. If I kill him, you will serve us." His words were a challenge, designed to instill fear. For 40 days, Goliath issued his challenge, and for 40 days, the Israelites cowered in fear. King Saul was intimidated by Goliath's size and ferocity. The Israelite army, demoralized and paralyzed by fear, faced a test of faith. Would they trust in the power of the Almighty to deliver them? Goliath had set the stage for a confrontation that would reveal the awesome power of the God of Israel. One day, David's father, Jesse, sent him to the Israelite camp to deliver food to his brothers, who were serving in Saul's army. As David arrived at the camp, he heard Goliath's customary challenge, the words dripping with scorn and arrogance. He watched in astonishment as the Israelite soldiers, battle-hardened warriors, trembled before the giant's taunts. David asked his brother, "What will be done for the man who kills this Philistine and removes this disgrace from Israel? Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God?" David's words reached the ears of King Saul, who summoned the young shepherd to his tent. Saul, desperate for a champion, saw in David's youthful enthusiasm a glimmer of hope. But he also saw David's inexperience, his lack of size and weaponry. "You are not able to go out against this Philistine and fight him," Saul protested. "You are only a young man, and this man has been a warrior from his youth." But David, his eyes shining with unwavering faith, would not be deterred. He recounted his experiences as a shepherd, how he had protected his father's flocks from lions and bears, killing them with his bare hands. "The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine," David declared. David's faith in God was rooted in his personal experience of God's faithfulness. Refusing Saul's armor, David found it cumbersome. He faced Goliath with his staff, sling, and belief in the Lord. As David approached, Goliath laughed in derision. "Am I a dog," he roared, "that you come at me with sticks?" But David stood his ground. "I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty." David took out a stone and slung it with all his might. The stone, guided by God, struck Goliath's forehead. The giant fell crashing to the ground. The Philistines panicked and fled. The Israelites surged forward, securing victory. The Bible isn't alone in its fascination with giants. These colossal beings populate the myths and legends of cultures across the globe, from the rugged landscapes of ancient Greece to the icy plains of Norse mythology. In Greek mythology, the Titans, the children of Uranus, Sky, and Gaia, Earth, ruled the cosmos before the rise of the Olympian gods. These titanic beings, embodying strength and primal power, clashed with Zeus and his siblings in a battle for supremacy, a conflict that shook the very foundations of the universe. The Titans, like the biblical giants, represent a challenge to the established order, a reminder of the fragility of civilization in the face of untamed power. The image of the giant, often depicted as a monstrous being dwelling in caves or towering over mountains, is a recurring motif in folklore and mythology. These giants, often associated with natural phenomena like earthquakes, volcanic eruptions or storms, embody the awe-inspiring and sometimes terrifying power of the natural world. They serve as a reminder of humanity's vulnerability in the face of forces beyond their control. The stories of giants, whether found in the Bible or in the myths of other cultures, often serve as cautionary tales, warnings about the dangers of pride, greed, and the pursuit of power without regard for morality or consequence. They remind us of the power of storytelling to convey our deepest fears, hopes, and beliefs. Venturing northwards, we encounter the frost giants of Norse mythology, monstrous beings who dwell in the icy realm of Jotunheim, a land of perpetual cold and darkness. These giants, often depicted as enemies of the gods, represent the chaotic forces of nature. Ymir, the primordial giant formed from the melting ice, is a prime example of this archetype. From his body, the gods fashioned the world, his flesh becoming the earth, his blood the seas, and his skull the sky. The giants in Norse mythology, like their counterparts in other cultures, often embody immense strength, a deep connection to the natural world, and a certain wild freedom. They are both a threat and a source of fascination, reminding us of the untamed aspects of our own nature. The stories of Thor, the god of thunder, battling giants with his mighty hammer Mjolnir, are among the most popular in Norse mythology. These tales reflect the ongoing struggle between order and chaos, the delicate balance that must be maintained to preserve the world from destruction. Why do giants hold such a prominent place in the human imagination across cultures and throughout history? Perhaps it's because they represent our deepest fears and anxieties magnified to a colossal scale. Giants embody the unknown, the uncontrollable, the forces that dwarf us both physically and metaphorically. The image of the giant towering over the landscape can be seen as a projection of our own feelings of insignificance in the face of nature's power. Floods, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions and other natural disasters remind us of the fragility of human existence and the awesome power of the forces that shape our world. Giants also tap into our primal fear of predators, of being hunted and consumed by something much larger and stronger than ourselves. This fear, deeply ingrained in our evolutionary history, finds expression in myths and legends as monstrous creatures lurking in the shadows, waiting to devour the unwary. The stories of giants, while often terrifying, also serve a purpose. They allow us to confront our fears in a safe, symbolic way, to explore the boundaries between the known and the unknown. and to reaffirm the importance of courage, ingenuity, and faith in the face of adversity. The prevalence of giant myths across cultures raises intriguing questions about human storytelling and universal archetypes. Do these stories point to a shared ancestral memory, a time when giants truly walked the earth? Or are they simply products of our imagination, reflections of our deepest fears and aspirations? Some scholars suggest giant myths might be rooted in real encounters with ancient hominid species. Regardless of their origins, giant myths continue to resonate with us today. Throughout the Bible, giants symbolize spiritual and moral corruption. Their immense size is a metaphor for pride, ambition, and defiance of God. True strength lies in humility, righteousness, and aligning with God's will. The Tower of Babel exemplifies hubristic ambition, challenging God's sovereignty. This defiance led to chaos and division, a reminder of the futility of challenging the divine. Power, like fire, can be a force for good or evil, depending on how it's wielded. It can build, heal, protect, or destroy, exploit, and oppress. Giants embody the corrupting influence of power, divorced from righteousness and compassion. Their strength becomes tools of domination and self-aggrandizement. They rule by fear, exploiting the weak and trampling dignity. True leadership is rooted in service, humility, and respect for every human being. King Saul's story shows the corrosive effects of power on the human heart. Saul began with humility but grew prideful and paranoid. Consumed by jealousy and fear, he defied God's will, leading to his downfall. Giants remind us that true strength lies in uplifting others and championing justice. While the giants of the Bible might seem like figures of distant myth and legend, their stories hold a timeless relevance, challenging us to confront the giants that reside within our own hearts. These are not giants of flesh and bone, but giants of pride, envy, greed, anger, and all the other vices that can warp our character and lead us astray from God's path. We might not possess the physical stature of Goliath or the brute strength of the Anakim, but we all face temptations, moments when our own desires and ambitions threaten to overwhelm our better judgment. The giants serve as mirrors, reflecting back to us the potential for darkness and destruction that lurks within each of us. The story of David's victory over Goliath offers a message of hope and encouragement. David, a mere shepherd boy, seemed hopelessly outmatched against the Philistine giant, yet armed with his faith in God and a heart filled with courage, he triumphed over his seemingly invincible foe. David's story reminds us that even the smallest among us can overcome the greatest challenges when we place our trust in God and allow His strength to work through our weakness. It's a call to confront our own giants, those internal struggles that threaten to hold us back from fulfilling our God-given potential. The destruction of the giants in the Bible underscores a profound truth. God is a God of both justice and mercy. He delights in showing compassion and offering redemption, yet He cannot tolerate wickedness indefinitely. The giants, in their defiance of God's authority, face the consequences of their actions. The great flood purged the earth of rampant wickedness, including the monstrous offspring. This act of divine intervention was also an act of mercy, offering humanity a fresh start. The Israelites' battles against giants are filled with extraordinary feats of courage and strength. Moses parted the Red Sea, brought forth water from a rock, and received the 10 Commandments. Joshua led the Israelites to victory, crumbling the walls of Jericho and commanding the sun to stand still. David faced Goliath armed with a sling and faith, slaying the giant. These heroes show what God can accomplish through faith. The battles against the giants in the Bible, while often described in physical and military terms, also represent a deeper spiritual conflict that has raged since the dawn of creation. This is a battle between good and evil, order and chaos, faith and doubt, a battle that transcends the boundaries of time and space. The giants, in their defiance of God and their embodiment of human corruption, represent the forces of darkness that seek to undermine God's plan and enslave humanity to sin and fear. They are agents of chaos, seeking to disrupt the divine order and plunge the world back into the primordial darkness that existed before creation. The Israelites, chosen by God to be a light to the nations, found themselves on the front lines of this cosmic conflict. Their battles against the giants were not merely territorial disputes, they were skirmishes in a larger war for the soul of humanity. Their victories, often achieved against overwhelming odds, affirmed God's sovereignty, demonstrating that even the most formidable evil is no match for the power of the Almighty. This spiritual battle continues to this day, waged in the hearts and minds of individuals and reflected in the conflicts that plague our world. The giants we face might not be literal giants, but they are no less real or dangerous. Greed, envy, hatred, violence, oppression, and all the other manifestations of sin that threaten to consume us. Even in our modern age of scientific advancement, the allure of giants persists. Stories of their existence haven't been entirely relegated to mythology. Whispers of giants echo through archaeology, anthropology, and folklore. Tantalizing clues surface, hinting at a time when humans shared the earth with beings of extraordinary stature. Giant skeletons unearthed in ancient burial mounds, colossal footprints etched into prehistoric stone, and enigmatic structures challenge conventional explanations. These anomalies fuel speculation about a past shrouded in mystery. Giants in the earth. Interpreting the evidence. The evidence for giants, it must be acknowledged, is often anecdotal and open to interpretation. Stories passed down through generations, while potentially preserving kernels of truth, can also become embellished or distorted over time. Physical evidence, such as large bones or footprints, can be difficult to definitively attribute to giant humans without robust scientific analysis and comparison to known hominid species. One of the most common explanations offered by skeptics is that giant remains are often misidentified, belonging to extinct animals rather than humans. Bones from mammoths, mastodons, or other large creatures, when viewed through the lens of folklore and expectation, could be misconstrued as belonging to giant humanoids. Furthermore, the human mind has a well-documented tendency to seek patterns and explanations, even where none exist. Pareidolia, the phenomenon of perceiving meaningful patterns in random or vague stimuli, could lead individuals to interpret natural formations, such as unusual rock formations or oddly shaped shadows, as evidence of giants. Despite these skeptical arguments, some researchers maintain that the sheer volume and consistency of giant accounts across cultures and throughout history warrant further investigation. They argue that dismissing all such accounts as hoaxes or misinterpretations risks overlooking potentially valuable clues about our ancient past, and the possibility that our understanding of human evolution is incomplete. The debate over the existence of giants often becomes mired in a clash between those who cling to literal interpretations of ancient texts and those who approach such accounts with a more critical, scientific lens. It's essential to approach this topic with both intellectual honesty and a willingness to consider perspectives that challenge our preconceived notions. While the scientific community, by and large, remains unconvinced by the existing evidence for giants, the possibility, however remote, continues to fascinate. Perhaps in some remote corner of the world, hidden beneath layers of sediment or tucked away in an unexplored cave, lies the key to unlocking this ancient mystery. Until such definitive proof emerges, the question of whether giants truly walked the earth alongside our ancestors will likely remain a subject of debate and speculation. The stories, however, will undoubtedly persist, passed down through generations, fueling our imaginations and reminding us that the world, even in this age of scientific enlightenment, still holds its share of mysteries waiting to be unraveled. Whether giants are ultimately revealed to be historical realities or merely figments of our collective imagination, their enduring presence in our myths and legends serves as a testament to the power of storytelling to capture the human fascination with the unknown, the extraordinary, and the enduring possibility that our world might be even more wondrous and strange than we ever dared imagine. The stories of God against the giants, though rooted in the distant past, hold a timeless relevance that transcends the boundaries of time and culture. They remind us that we too face giants in our own lives. Challenges, obstacles, and adversaries that loom large, threatening to overwhelm us with their sheer size and ferocity. These modern Goliaths might not be literal giants, but they are no less real or intimidating. They take on many forms: illness, financial hardship, relationship breakdowns, career setbacks, self-doubt, fear, addiction, and the ever-present weight of societal expectations. They stand between us and our dreams, whispering doubts, amplifying our insecurities, and tempting us to give up on the promises God has placed in our hearts. But these stories also offer a message of hope and encouragement. They remind us that we are not alone in our struggles, that the same God who fought for his people in ages past is still fighting for us today. He is the God who parted the Red Sea, who brought water from a rock, who empowered David to defeat Goliath, and who promises to never leave us nor forsake us. The giants we face, though formidable, are not invincible. They might appear insurmountable from our limited human perspective, but with God on our side, we can overcome any obstacle, conquer any fear, and achieve victories that seem impossible by human standards alone. The key to overcoming our modern Goliaths is to choose faith over fear. Fear paralyzes us, blinding us to possibilities. Faith empowers us, giving us courage to confront our fears. Remember David facing Goliath. David saw an opportunity for victory. He focused on God's faithfulness. Choosing faith shifts our perspective to God's limitless power. We can face challenges with confidence, knowing victory belongs to God. The most formidable giant we face is within us: our sin, self-doubt, insecurities, and negative thought patterns. This internal giant can sabotage our dreams and relationships, keeping us from God's love and purpose. But God provides a way to overcome through the Holy Spirit's power, the same power that raised Christ and parted the Red Sea. This love conquers all fear. As we partner with God, the giants shrink, revealing our strength and courage. We are conquerors through Him who loved us. With God on our side, we claim victory in Christ. Heavenly Father, today we thank you for the hidden lessons in your word. The stories of the giants remind us that no challenge is too great when we walk with you. Help us face our own giants, whether fears, doubts, or temptations, with the same courage David had when he faced Goliath. Grant us the strength to stand firm in our faith and the wisdom to discern your will in our lives. May we always remember that you are the God of the impossible who fights our battles and leads us to victory. Amen. If this topic intrigued you and you want to explore more mysteries of the Bible, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it. Together, let's uncover the deepest secrets of Scripture.